Pisces, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late August, early September 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's going on for the lovely Piscean collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's see what's up. My guides, talk to me. What do we got for Pisces here? The Pisces collective. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself, and at the very end I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Pisces, please. Guys, talk to me. All right, thank you. Nice and quick. This dreamy energy almost every week doesn't fail, Pisces. I feel like it's been going on for months and months every time we get this. This might be the exact card we had in the front end last week as well, but we're just going to take it as it is, right? And as I always say, I'm part of the collective myself, and the energy fits. But it's funny how it shows up so often, especially for Pisces out of all the water signs. But before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about this card that is a very common visitor in all the Pisces readings, at least the energy is. So we see this beautiful lady in the purple dress. She is surrounded by those hot air balloons, the beautiful etheric dreamy background. There's some nonsensical things happening here. So when I see it, I think of the realm of imagination, the dreams, like all that stuff, the unseen realms, the subtle energies is what's showing up here prominently. So as with every time we see it, this could be a beautiful imaginative type of energy that you have, or it could be dreamy. For a lot of Pisces, you might be in the mind a little more than usual. You might be daydreaming, thinking, planning things. Like, this is a big dreamy type of energy we have here up front. But for a portion of you, maybe it's spirit talking to you about sleep. Maybe spirit's trying to speak to you through the dream state, through the dream realm. So make sure you're keeping a dream journal or paying attention to your dreams, because spirit might be trying to send you a message there. But when I see this beautiful etheric imaginative type of energy, I always say, especially for us Pisces, that it's good for us to really express that creativity in some sort of way. Don't keep it within. Don't stay within the dream world, the expansive dream world within you. Let it out in some sort of way, and that will benefit you and it will benefit the world around you. So we're just going to leave that card right over there. Let's get into tarot. I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote. So let's get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get that intuitive juiciness going. So let's shuffle it up one time for the Pisceans, please, and see what's up as we move through August and September. And while we get this deck ready, let's talk about last week's reading. We had some tower energy, my friends. The reading was titled A Shocking Situation. And I didn't feel like it was necessarily things that were going to happen to the Pisces collective themselves, but it could have been happening to people around you. Like, we had the tower with the 3 of swords, and it was like, yeah, that's a damn shame. That was the type of energy I was picking up. So hopefully you haven't been experiencing too many towers recently, but we're going to hope for some more optimism this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone you're linked to. Let's get you 3 cards. And I just also have to mention, there's been so much of the mystery cards in the whole entire zodiac. So let's see what we got going on. So much of that energy. Okay, we got the death card in position number 1. Don't be nervous about that, specifically if you are new to tarot. I recently just did a quiz in the community tab about this card. Often misunderstood, but let's get a couple more going. I believe that showed up in the Cancer spread as well. We got the Hermit here. Maybe you're in Hermit mode for some reason. Interesting stuff. Lots of major arcana for the water signs this week. Let's get one more going, and we'll really start to break this down. What do we got for Pisces? Thank you. You're going to have a bonus as well, my friend. All right. All major arcana across the board here up front. We have the High Priestess, which is one of your cards, my friends. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be interesting how all this plays out. And your bonus card will be the 6 of Cups right here. That imaginative energy showing its face once again. So Pisces, let's go through. I'll give you the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. So first look, first glance, I look down here. This is going to be an interesting nuanced reading, as always with the Pisces readings. But when I look down here, Powerful major arcana straight across the board. We got the Six of Cups, which is a card of the past. So it's going to be interesting how this all plays. One thing I do have to mention, 2 of them are water, 1 is earth. So when we look at this elemental mixture, all this water and the earth, that can bloom into something very positive and good. But with all this water, there's a lot going on internally. And we saw it with the Oracle card in the beginning as well. But let's go through one by one. Position number 1, we got the Death card. This is a card that represents the zodiac sign of Scorpio. So when we see this, if you're not connected to Scorpio or have Scorpio placements, this card isn't about physical death. It's not necessarily about things ending either. This is more about transformation, right? Like from every ending comes a new beginning. Think of phoenixes rising from ashes. That's an example I always like to give. So when we see the Death card, you might be in a time of change and metamorphosis. There could be a lot of things changing around you or things changing within you with this card. Sure, maybe there have been some uncomfortable endings and things like that recently, but it doesn't stop there. It continues on in a positive way. The Death card is also extremely karmic. It talks about the karmic cycles of life. So when we see this card, we have to think of the karmic archetypes and possible karmic situations as well. So let's get him snugged back up under that amethyst piece. Position number 2, we got the Hermit, which is extra interesting. Now, this represents the zodiac sign of Virgo. At the time of this filming, we had just entered Virgo season. So in my simplistic style of reading, it could tell us something or someone that could be coming towards you in the time of Virgo, or how you might be feeling in Virgo season. The Hermit is a wise card. It's a card of wisdom. It's a card of spirituality. And that's one thing I could say about all these major arcana, is they're all very much tapped in spiritual. So we do have this subtle energy that's been lingering throughout this whole entire reading. So just know you might be very much energetically sensitive, especially with the High Priestess there. So the good thing about the Hermit, it's all about knowledge. It's all about esoteric. So you might feel like you're on some sort of knowledge journey in this time, learning things, uncovering things. But the Hermit could also represent somebody being in hermit mode, possibly feeling isolated, possibly feeling lonely, purposely pulling yourself back, taking a step back, withdrawing from something or someone when this card shows up. So we'll see what that's about when we clarify it for sure. Okay, you might just be in hermit mode for whatever reason. Okay, so we'll just have to see. The Hermit is a card that could go either way, depending on the clarifier. Now, moving to the back end, we got the beautiful High Priestess, one of my favorite cards in the whole entire deck. Classically, this is one of the cards that represents the Pisces collective. Now, personally, I like to link this to all the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I feel like they all have elements of this High Priestess in them. That's my own personal view. But for this reading, since it's a Pisces reading, this card could represent you here in this spread. So once again, a way you might be feeling, something that might be coming towards you, how you're treating yourself. Other themes we think of with the High Priestess, she shares some with this Hermit. This is a card that is a little solitary. It's pulled back, it's withdrawn. She is into the subtler energies. Your intuition could be fired up in this time. You could be feeling the energies of people and places and things all around you in a very strong way. Make sure you're listening to your intuition and tapping in when the High Priestess is here, okay? Or there could just be that big interest in knowledge and spirituality with both of these cards. That's a big thing straight across the board, and they're extremely powerful. On the back end, we got the Six of Cups. Like I said, this is my card of history. This is another little footnote. So for a portion of you, maybe you're reminiscing on the past, thinking about the past. This could represent a soul connection as well. So we're just going to leave this off to the side here. You might be taking walks down memory lane, but I want to dive deeper. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for the Pisces collective and see what we got. My guides, talk to me. What's up with Pisces? And yes, my friends, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Death card. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Pisces, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Death card, what's it about? Why is that Death card here? Thank you. King of Wands in the upright. Okay, some of you might be really enforcing your own change in this time. You might be really stepping up to the plate and making big changes in your life. If that's not something you're purposely doing right now, that is something that really could come up in the coming days and weeks where you're like, you know, I need to switch something. I need to make a change. I need to make a shift. That's what I feel like with this King of Wands. Remember, kings in tarot represent control of their respective suit. King of Wands, if you're not connected to a fire sign, which you might be, this card is representative of taking the bull by the horns and directing your own energy and directing your own fate. So for a lot of Pisces, it could be a brand new day where you're like, you know what, I'm turning over a new leaf, or I need to turn over a new leaf and really direct my own ship. That's a big vibe I'm picking up here in the beginning. Now for another portion of you, this could represent like big karmic shifts and big karmic changes you're going through, but I don't see you shying away from it. I see you welcoming it in the front here. So it's like, okay, well, bring it on. Like, okay, this is going to change, that's going to change. I'm adaptable, so bring it on. So like for a lot of you, I feel like this is very good up front. We're going to keep pressing forward. We're not going to get hung up here, but that's the main thing I'm picking up. Like either you're going to make some powerful changes within yourself or within your own life, or you're going to embrace them, especially if they're karmic in nature, especially if they line up with your purpose in life. So let's go in on that Hermit. See what this Hermit mode could be about. So why is the Hermit chilling here for Pisces? Thank you. Okay, yeah. Got the 10 of Swords underneath this Hermit, huh? Okay, once again, I don't necessarily feel like this is you. Okay, like there is somebody that you're connected to that may have gone through some pretty intense pain recently, or maybe you have, right? But I feel for a big portion of you, I don't necessarily feel like this is you. If you've been having issues with a particular person in this time where they seem aloof, or they seem detached, or they seem pulled back, or they seem like they're pulling away, this is because this individual is dealing with something extremely tough with the 10 of Swords in the upright underneath this Hermit. We all know what this card represents. Rough and tough endings, represents pain. But with this Hermit card, this person is trying their best not to like wear it on their sleeve. They're trying their best not to show it. So there could be someone you're connected to, or maybe even yourself, that recently you've gone through some sort of painful ending. And there's a recovery aspect we have going on underneath this Hermit. So just keep that in mind as you move forward. Like, yeah, I do have this energy of embracing, but I also have another person that might not be embracing it as much. Okay, so I do, especially if you're dealing with a person that feels like they're aloof or just pulled back, they're really trying to deal with this ending or deal with this pain in a big way. So we're just going to keep moving forward. We're going to see what's up with that High Priestess. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the Shadow card. So why is the High Priestess here? Interesting stuff, my friends. I hope a lot of you haven't recently gone through like tough 10 of Swords moments or endings. Okay? If you have, everything's going to be okay though, right? Like this is healing type of energy as well. So why is this High Priestess here for Pisces? Thank you. Okay. Someone fighting a good fight here. We have the 5 of Swords underneath this High Priestess. Yeah, Pisces, I've been feeling this for a couple weeks now. You might be a little more zesty than you normally are with this 5 of Swords underneath the High Priestess. I feel you doubling down in some sort of way in regards to something, whether it's a decision, whether it's a choice. I feel like even if you have gone through these tough things, these rough times, like you're going to double down on something and be like, nope, I'm going to embrace this. We have the 5 of Swords underneath the High Priestess. Generally, this could be a card of conflict, right? This could be a card of someone who is watching out for their own self-interest. So for a very small portion of you, if you do have connections with a cold individual or someone that's narcissistic in their tendencies, narcissistic in their ways, Spirit could be warning you about that on the back end, telling you like, hey, you got to know when to fight, know when to step back type of energy, know when to call it quits. But for another portion of you, like I feel like you might be more zesty than you normally are, a little more spicy, where like if you're going through the tough times, when normally people give us Pisces the reputation of dealing with tough things, dealing with problems by going into our own world and pulling back, which sure, it could be true, but I feel like a lot of you wanting to face things head on, face challenges head on and embrace them. Like that's just the vibe I'm picking up here. A lot of you really might want to look out for your own self-interest in this time. Like, does this make sense for me? Is this good for me? Is it not good for me? So despite all the other stuff that's going on, like you might really be in the time and place where you're just focusing on your well-being in some sort. Let's go through and do a quick recap before I ramble on too much, Pisces. We got a lot of stuff here, But let's go through. Position number 1, we do have this karmic energy that needs to be looked at and kept in mind. But position number 1, we have the Death card with the King of Wands in the upright. For a portion of you, yeah, you might be going through karmic shifts, karmic changes here, very powerful. But I feel a lot of you are embracing this energy and you're going to work with it and work through it. You might be connected to a fire sign, maybe, but I don't feel you fighting against it. I feel like you're embracing it. Moving to the center, we do have this Hermit energy with the Ten of Swords. Now, this to me is somebody who has gone through something pretty painful, whether it's been an ending, whether it's internal pain. If you're having issues with a person and they're retreating, pulling back, it's because they're trying to heal and deal with something that really affected them in a big way. So this could represent an ending of some sort, whether you've gone through it or somebody else. But in position number 3, we have the High Priestess, one of your cards, with the Five of Swords in the upright. Facing things head on. That's a big thing I'm picking up here. A lot of you could be a lot more spicy than you normally are, a little more confrontational than you normally are, but ready to face whatever changes, whatever things happen head on. For a portion of you, if you're connected to a cold person or a narcissistic individual, you might want to really get into hermit mode and pull yourself back. But for another portion of you, like watching out for your own self-interest seems like a very good thing here. So we do have some warnings, but we have some positives. Please take a screenshot. I'm going to get you a shadow card right now. So let's see what's in the shadows for Pisces, guides and spirit team. And you know, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within us, whether it's something we don't quite see just yet. I feel like it's a good introspective thing to do. So let's get one shadow card. What do we got for Pisces? Thank you. 10 of Wands, a little bit of a heavy type of energy here in the shadows, huh? You're holding on to something that's a little cumbersome, a little burdensome right here. For a portion of you, I feel like I need to say, you really need to take care of yourself when this card shows up as a shadow card. Don't put too much on your shoulders, okay? The weight of expectation, whether it is physical, whether it is emotional, whether it's mental, don't overload your plate. Don't put too much on yourself. That's very important here. Spirit could be asking you to watch out for your own health and well-being when this card shows up, straight up, because it is burden. Yes, it's a determined card that's going to get things done, but you really need to practice self-love and self-care, whether it is mentally, emotionally, or physically. And I feel like that's the main message, and it's very important. Okay, so whatever it is that feels heavy, whatever it is you're holding on to, work through it in your own time and heal from it if possible. But Pisces, that's what I have for you, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give the details of the August subscriber surprise. For the August subscriber surprise, I'll be picking 3 winners for 3 different tarot decks. It will be a winner's choice this month. So if you want the Gilded Tarot, it's your choice. If you want the Witch's Tarot or anything under $40 US, 3 winners will be chosen. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are. And second, let me know down in the comments what you think is the best use for tarot. Speaking to spirit, shadow work, inner work, confusion, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, in August, I'll announce the winners of my community tab. As always, my friends, much love. I'll see you soon.